We're diving into the world of Delancy Devin.
Hold on. Delancy Devin from Barbie Princess Charm School. The ultimate mean girl.
The one and only. And we found this analysis that really digs into her character. And it argues that her style actually reflects her evolution.
Okay, now I'm intrigued. Because we usually write off mean girls as pretty one-dimensional.
Right. But Delancey's journey is anything but. I mean, she starts off as this classic rival, you know, vying for the throne and totally set on making Blair Willow's life miserable.
Yeah. And her style in the beginning totally screams, entitled princess. It's all sharp lines and those super opulent fabrics. Like, she's not messing around.
Exactly. But then when Blair's true identity as Princess Sophia is revealed, Delancey does something I totally didn't expect.
Oh, yeah. That moment is huge. Instead of holding on to her ambition, she actually helps Blair take her rightful place.
It's like a complete 180 from the ruthless ambition she was showing before. Makes you wonder if she was always capable of doing the right thing, you know?
It really makes you think, right? Was she always that deep down? Or did something change inside her?
That's the question. It's what makes her character so fascinating. Because by choosing to do what's right, she kind of breaks free from that typical mean girl trope.
I see what you mean. It's like we start to see that maybe, just maybe, she wasn't all that comfortable being the villain.
Right. And it makes you think, haven't we all had those moments? Where we have to choose between what's easy and what's right, even if it means going against what everyone expects.
Those moments are definitely the ones that shape us.
They totally do. And for Delancey, choosing to step aside and support Blair, even though she wanted that throne for herself, it says so much about her inner strength.
Yeah, it shows how much she's growing as a person.
Okay, let's talk about her signature color for a second. Purple.
Oh yeah, like it's everywhere in her wardrobe.
Right, but it's more than just a fashion statement.
Definitely not. Purple represents so much royalty, luxury, ambition. It perfectly captures how Delancey was raised. And her initial goals, you know, it's like she's literally draped in the color of power.
Yeah, but purple also has this other side, right? It's connected to wisdom and compassion. And as Delancy grows, her connection to purple seems to evolve too, don't you think?
Totally. It's like the color itself is mirroring her transformation. Purple is this blend of blue, which is calming, and red, which is energetic. And that kind of shows the balance she finds between that rigid, entitled persona she starts with and the more empathetic person she becomes.
Wow. I never thought about it that way, but that's a really cool observation. Okay, but speaking of evolution, what about her outfits? How do they change along with her character?
That's where things get super interesting. This analysis actually talks about how fashion is this powerful storytelling tool, especially with Delancey. In the beginning, her clothes are all about structure and opulence.
Oh yeah, sharp lines, rich fabrics, tons of embellishments.
Right, it's like she's wearing armor projecting power and control, which makes sense given how she was raised.
It's like Dame Devin, her mom, molded her into this image of perfection, almost dominance. But then as Delancey starts questioning those expectations, we see this shift in her clothes.
Exactly. Her style gets softer, the lines become more flowy, the fabric's more relaxed. It's like she's breaking free and finally embracing who she really is.
It makes me think about my own style, you know? Like, how does what I wear reflect who I am, or maybe who I want to be? Do I dress for confidence or to blend in? It's wild how clothes can be such a powerful way to express ourselves.
It really is. We're constantly sending messages to the world through what we wear, whether we realize it or not. And get this idea actually goes even deeper than just self-expression.
Oh, tell me more. I'm hooked.
There's this concept called enclothed cognition, and it suggests that what we wear can actually influence how we think and act.
Wait, so you're telling me that Delancey's killer style might not just be reflecting her confidence, it could be creating it?
Exactly. There was this study by Adam and Galinsky, and they found that there's this direct link between wearing clothes that are associated with certain qualities and then actually doing better at tasks related to those qualities. So when Delancey walks into a room in a power outfit, it's possible her clothes are giving her this extra boost of confidence and focus.
Whoa, that's amazing. Like, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. What if that's actually true? What if what we wear can really help us become who we want to be?
It's a fascinating idea, and it makes Delancey's style evolution even more interesting, right? Because it suggests that her transformation wasn't just about changing her clothes, it was about tapping into this deeper sense of self through those choices.
This is already blowing my mind. And we haven't even gotten to the practical tips from the analysis yet. We'll dive into those after a quick break. But first, I want to touch on something that I think is super interesting. The fact that Delancey, even though she's the villain, is so undeniably charismatic.
You're right. She's got that villainous charisma thing going on. It makes us, as the audience, kind of drawn to her. Why is that?
Right. It's like she's not just bad. She's bad in this way that's almost aspirational.
Yeah.
That confidence, the control, and yeah, let's be real, those killer outfits.
Exactly. It's like she's figured out how to own her flaws and turn them into strengths. She commands attention even when she's not the good guy. I think we can all learn from that because sometimes owning our imperfections, being comfortable with who we are, even if it's a little unconventional, that's what makes us magnetic.
I love that. It's like Delancey's giving us permission to embrace our inner villain, but not in a bad way, in a way that makes us stronger.
Exactly. It's about that balance between confidence and compassion, style, and substance. And Delancey, through her journey, kind of shows us how to do that.
This is getting deep. Okay, I have to admit, this next part's a little controversial. This analysis actually quotes this pop culture theorist, Dr. Lisa Wade, and she says that there's this link between how physically attractive someone is and how much we respect their competence.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
And it totally applies to Delancey. She's stylish, and she's also conventionally attractive. And based on Dr. Wade's research, that could actually be making her seem even more competent and persuasive.
It's like a halo effect, but for villains.
Right.
It makes you think about how much appearances affect how we judge others. Do we automatically think someone who's attractive is also smarter or more capable? It's a little unsettling, to think that our appearance can have that much power, even if it's not fair.
Totally. Especially in a world where image is everything. It makes you wonder if Delancey's style and her beauty are like secret weapons helping her get what she wants, even if it's not always the right thing. But luckily, the analysis also gives us some really great practical advice based on Delancey's journey, like ways to use fashion and color psychology to boost our own confidence and help us grow.
Yes, we can totally learn from Delancey, even if we don't want to be mean girls.
Exactly. We're going to dive into those tips in the next part of our deep dive. Stay tuned.
All right. Are you ready to dive into those 5 tips? The analysis really breaks them down in a way that makes them super applicable to everyday life.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I always love some actionable advice, especially when it comes to style and confidence.
Me too. So tip number 1, remember, is all about those signature colors. Just like Delancey with her purple. It's about finding those hues that really resonate with you, with your personality, and also help you project that image you want to create for yourself.
Okay, so it's not just about picking your favorite color. It's deeper than that, right?
Right, exactly. It's about thinking about what you want to project, what kind of energy you want to put out there. Like, do you want to come across as powerful and sophisticated? Maybe incorporating black or navy blue into your wardrobe would be a good strategy.
Ooh, that's interesting. And it makes me think of how Delancey uses purple. Even as a young girl, she seems to get this. She's always wearing purple. And as we talked about, it represents royalty, ambition, but also wisdom and compassion.
Yeah, she's totally sending a message with those color choices. And it changes as she develops as a character. When she shifts from that more rigid, entitled persona to someone more empathetic and understanding, you start to see those softer sides of purple really come forward.
Wow. It's like she's using color to tell her story. Yeah. Without even saying a word, she's communicating so much. It makes me realize that we can do that too. We can use color strategically to create the image we want to project and even maybe nudge ourselves and others towards those qualities we want to embody.
You got it. It's like a subtle advantage. Okay, ready for tip number 2?
Yeah, hit me.
Okay, remember that saying, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. Well, I think it goes beyond that, actually. I think it's more about dressing for the life you want, for the person you're aiming to become.
I love that. So it's not just about career goals. It's about using our clothes to help us step into the best version of ourselves.
Yes, exactly that. So think about the qualities you want to embody, confidence, creativity, leadership, maybe even a little bit of rebelliousness. And then how can you translate those into your wardrobe?
Okay, so if I'm going for that CEO energy, maybe I start wearing more structured pieces. Think power suits, statement jewelry, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And the crazy thing is there's actually science to back this up. Remember those studies that show a connection between what we wear and how well we do on certain tasks? That just shows that our clothes can actually shape our thoughts and actions.
Oh, wow. You're right. We talked about that. Okay, I'm never underestimating the power of a good power suit again.
Yeah.
All right, what's next? Tip number 3.
Tip number 3 is all about creating a personal uniform. Now, this doesn't mean wearing the exact same thing every single day. It's more about finding those go-to looks that just work for you for different occasions, It's like having a set of style formulas that you can mix and match.
So it's about simplifying things. Because honestly, who has time to stress about what to wear every morning? We've got bigger fish to fry.
Exactly. It's about taking the guesswork out of getting dressed and freeing up your mental energy for more important decisions. Plus, it helps you build a consistent personal brand, which can be super useful in your professional life and even your personal life.
It's like having your signature style that people instantly recognize and associate with you.
Right. All right, what about tip number 4?
Lay it on me.
Tip number 4, I think, really embodies Delancy's journey. It's all about using fashion as a tool for personal growth. Remember, she goes through this incredible transformation and her style changes right alongside her. So it's about embracing change, stepping outside your comfort zone and experimenting until you discover what makes you feel authentically you and confident.
So it's about playing with fashion, having fun with it.
Yeah.
Not being afraid to try new things and see how they make us feel.
Yeah. You never know. Maybe you'll discover this whole new side to yourself, a style that makes you feel even more confident and creative than before.
That's like fashion is this mirror, reflecting back to us who we are and who we're becoming.
I love that. Okay, last but not least, tip number 5 is a really interesting one. It's about applying color theory to our environments.
So not just what we wear, but the spaces we live in, right?
Exactly. Think about how different colors make you feel. Do you feel calm and relaxed in a room with cool blues and greens? Do you feel energized in a space with pops of bright yellow or orange?
Oh, wow, yeah. It's like we're curating our own little worlds through color.
And that's something that Delancey seems to get instinctively, too. Think about all the spaces she's in. They often have these rich purples, golds, colors that give you a sense of luxury and power and sophistication.
It's like she's surrounding herself with the colors of her goals. We might not all be aspiring to be princesses, but we can definitely use this idea to create spaces that help us work towards our dreams.
Absolutely. Whether it's your home, your office, or even just a little corner of your room, we can all use color to create a world that reflects who we are and who we want to be. But, before I move on, I think there's another layer to Delancey's character that we should talk about. It connects back to what we were saying about women and positions of power.
Ooh, I'm all ears.
Well, even though Delancey's the villain in the story, she's also incredibly competent. Like, she's smart, resourceful, she's a strategic thinker, she's not afraid to take risks to get what she wants.
Yeah, she's definitely not your typical evil for the sake of evil villain. She's got layers.
Right. She makes you wonder, are we as a society still a little uncomfortable with women who have power? Are we so used to seeing women as passive or nurturing that when we see a woman who's ambitious, assertive, and truly comfortable with who she is, we label her as the villain?
That is a really good question. It's like we expect women to fit into this narrow box, and if they dare to step outside those lines, we're quick to judge them.
It's something we see everywhere, in movies, politics, and even our own lives. And I think it's something we need to change, We should be celebrating women who are bold, ambitious, and not afraid to go after what they want, even if they mess up sometimes.
Because messing up is part of life.
Yeah.
That's how we learn and grow. And Delancey shows us that. Despite her flaws and her sometimes questionable methods, she's not afraid to take chances, make mistakes, and then learn from those experiences.
She's a great example of how it's okay to be ambitious, to be assertive, to be a little extra, and to go after your goals with passion. We need more women like that in the world.
So true. Okay, as we head into the final part of our deep dive, I think that's an important point to remember. Delancey's story is not just about fashion and personal growth. It's also about challenging those societal norms and reimagining what's possible for women in positions of power.
Yes, it's about breaking free from those old narratives and creating a world where women are celebrated for their ambition, their intelligence, their creativity, and their unique perspectives.
And now, let's dive back into the final act of Delancey's transformation. There's still so much to uncover.
All right, so we're at the final act of Delancey's transformation. This is where she really becomes a style icon and a surprisingly relatable character.
Yeah, it's like everything we've talked about, her style, her personal growth, it all comes together in this last part.
Exactly. Remember those 5 tips we talked about, inspired by Delancey's journey? Well, she actually puts them into practice in this part of the movie.
Oh, really? Tell me, I'm so curious how she does that.
Okay, think about the final scene. The one where Blair is finally crowned Princess Sophia. Delancey's right there with her, but she's not wearing her usual power purple.
Oh, right. What is she wearing?
She's wearing a much softer color, like a light lavender.
That's so interesting. It's like she's using color to show her support for Blair, to say that she accepts how things turned out.
Exactly. She's embracing that softer side of purple, the one that's all about wisdom and compassion, which totally reflects how much she's grown, how she's choosing friendship over ambition now.
It's like she's finally found her true colors, literally.
I love that. It shows us that our style can change as we change, you know?
Yeah, our clothes can tell a story about who we are and who we're becoming.
Absolutely. And remember, tip number 2, dress for the role you aspire to. Well, Delancey's doing that too. She's not dressing to be queen anymore, but she's still dressing for a position of leadership.
Right. It's just a different kind of leadership now. She's supporting Blair, being a good friend, using her intelligence to help Blair with the challenges of being a princess.
Exactly. And you can see that in her outfits. She's still stylish, but it's more relaxed, more approachable. Like she's not trying to be intimidating anymore.
She's traded in the armor for something softer, more elegant. And don't forget tip number 3, the personal uniform. Even though her look is evolving, Delancey still has her signature style.
She's definitely found a way to express her individuality while creating a cohesive, recognizable look.
Yeah, like a personal brand. And what about tip number 4? Using fashion as a tool for personal growth. I think Delancey's whole journey shows us that. Remember how she started with that really rigid style, almost like a costume?
Oh, yeah, it totally reflected her upbringing, what her mother expected of her. But as she breaks free from those expectations, her style becomes more fluid, more expressive, more her.
It's like she's using fashion to figure out who she is, trying new things, experimenting until she finds what feels right. We can all learn from that.
For sure. It's about having fun with fashion, not taking it too seriously. And who knows, maybe we'll discover something new about ourselves along the way.
Okay, and last but not least, applying color theory to our environment. Even though we don't see Delancey redecorating her room in the movie, we can imagine how she might use this idea.
Right, like maybe she swaps those dark purples and golds for softer lavenders, blues, maybe some greens, colors that feel peaceful and inspiring, you know?
Yeah, like creating a space that encourages thoughtful conversations and collaboration. It really shows how our environment can affect how we feel, how we think, even how productive we are.
It's amazing how we've been able to connect all these different ideas through Delancey's journey. It just goes to show that inspiration can come from anywhere, even a Barbie movie.
Right. And even in a fantasy world, we can find real lessons that we can apply to our own lives.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into Delancy Devin, what's the one thing you hope our listeners take away from all of this?
I think it's this. Style is not just about looking good. It's about expressing ourselves, feeling confident, growing as people, and even challenging those old-fashioned ideas about how women should be.
It's about having fun and using fashion as a tool to create the life we want.
So the next time you're getting dressed, think about Delancey. Think about the colors you choose, the way your clothes fit, and what you want your style to say about you.
Because fashion is more than just clothes. It's a way to show the world who we are, who we want to be, and what we believe in.
And hey, maybe you'll even tap into your inner villain along the way.
Just remember to use those villainous powers for good.
That's a wrap on our deep dive into Delancy Devin, the stylish and surprisingly complex villain of Barbie Princess Charm School.
Thanks for joining us, and until next time, keep exploring, keep experimenting with your style, and keep shining.